Patriots, baby.
The Inky Mann.
And he's on the door. And he's on the door.
It is real.
And he's on the door. And he's on the door.
Hold your ears, folks. It's showtime.
What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy. Alright. So, I have officially took the show and turned the show into this.
Architect. I am the architect.
Alright, so this is my journey. If you are just tuning in, you haven't seen any of the past shows, this is my journey where I'm attempting to retire at the age of 50. And I'm 49. Will I do it? Will I be able to do it? Let us see. Follow me on my journey. Alright, so we begin here. Thank you, Patty, for sharing this with me with a man named Dave Ramsey. As you can see here, we have these 7 baby steps. And some of them make some sense to a degree, but number 5 no longer is anything I need to do. 6, I'm not in there yet. As far as putting money to the side for retirement, I don't know if I'd do step 4. But hey, let's talk about it. So what we have here is a nice blueprint as far as building baby steps, building wealth. Nice blueprint. Doesn't mean that you have to exactly do that, and that's not exactly what I'm going to do. But some of that stuff I might tap into. We'll see, right? But what we're doing today in this particular show is we're finding out what is wealth. So I went to Investopedia, the dictionary, and Investopedia dictionary. I'll remember when the images come up. That's crazy because all I gotta do is just look at it. But again, this is a conversation to have with you. There's a reason I do the things that I do when it comes down to it. So I got these 3 definitions. We're gonna go right into them. You ready? Let's go. So this is the dictionary's definition: abundance of valuable possessions or money, the state of being rich, material prosperity, plentiful supplies of a particular resource. Then we got good old Investopedia. What does Investopedia have to say? Well, their definition of wealth says wealth measures the value of all the assets of worth owned by a person, community, company, or country. Wealth is determined by taking the total market value of all physical and intangible assets owned, then subtracting all debts. Essentially, wealth is the accumulation of scarce resources. Again, according to Wikipedia. Now, this definition went on to even having key takeaways. Wealth is an accumulation of valuable economic resources that can be measured in terms of either real goods or money value. They talk about net worth. The concept of wealth is usually applied only to scarce economic goods that are abundant and free for everyone, provide no basis for relative comparisons across individuals. The relative difference in wealth between people are what we usually refer to in order to define who is wealthy or not. Unlike income, which is flow variable, wealth measures blah 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 blah. Now this one is Wikipedia's. Wealth is the abundance of valuable financial assets or physical possessions which can be converted into a form that can be used for transactions. Then it breaks down the Old English word wheel, which is a form of an Indo-European word system. The modern concept of wealth is of significance in all areas of economics, and clearly so for growth economics and development economics. Yet the meaning of wealth is context dependent. An individual possessing a substantial net worth is known as wealthy. Net worth is defined as the current value of one's assets less liabilities, excluding the principal and trust accounts. Just a whole bunch of blah, 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 blah. Now you might be asking,
what was all the blah, 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 blah? Why were you doing that?
and that was a good question. very handsome W that asked that question. Very handsome. I'm going to go into what Robert Kiyosaki defines as wealth. The definition of wealth is the number of days you can survive without physically working, or anyone else in your house physically working, and still maintain your standard of living. For example, if your monthly expenses are $5,000 a month and you have $20,000 in savings, your wealth is approximately 4 months or 120 days. Wealth is measured in time, not dollars. Ultimately, it's not how much money you make that matters, but how much money you keep and how long that money works for you. Now that last sentence is very crucial for me. Very crucial. Because I don't have a Fortune 500 job. I don't have a corporate job. I don't have the stereotypical job where there's just a whole lot of money coming in and, you know, I work at a car wash. I work at a car wash. And while I work at a car wash, I also have my music. I do side gigs as far as helping people with their businesses, a little bit of consulting. Right now I'm helping somebody with their website. I'm helping somebody design a security firm that they have currently, but they want to know how to make it really work. So I'm saying all that to show my E is the car wash, my S is my freelance activity, right? So all I'm saying is anybody can do this. This is not something that you have to be in a position that you're working in a high, I want to say high, where you're making a lot of money. That would be helpful. It would be quick. But slow and steady wins the race. So, like I said, that last sentence makes a whole lot of sense to me, you know? And ultimately, it's not how much money you make that matters, but how much you can keep and how long you make that money work for you. So when I go to work and I make money, you know, yes, I look at my bills as something that needs to be taken care of. I want a little bit of money so that I can buy shoes, sneakers, have beer money, whatever, just my fun money, you know, be able to do things for Cookie, do things with Cookie, you know, things like that. So I do that, but there's money management that has to go along with that. But again, the point is you don't have to be this high income earner in order to be able to retire early. You just have to make smart moves. So when I get paid for my checks are not dollars, they're employees. Does that make sense to you? I hope it does. So those are the definitions of wealth that I came across, right? And with Robert Kiyosaki's definition, that's the one that I want to run with. The other definitions were more so for you to see that sometimes things are more complicated just because people make them complicated, and they're really not that hard. If a Donald Trump can make money, if a Bill Gates can make money, if a Mark Zuckerberg can make money, you can too. There's nothing different from you and them. I don't care if they're a different skin color, if they have a different ethnicity, if one is Jewish, the other is not Jewish. Those are things that can help. Those are things that are tools. But right now I work at a car wash, which is a part of a gas station, a series of gas stations, right? And there are a family, I did not find out, I'll say they're a Middle Eastern family, a family of brothers with one sister. And they own 7 of these convenience stores with car washes attached to them. And I had a conversation with him when I first started working there. And he was talking about how he wanted me and him to kind of work together close because he wanted to develop the car wash to be something else. And since I'm standing the test of time as far as being there and not quitting, there was a guy that was there, he's no longer there. There was 2 guys that was there, they're no longer there. I'm the guy that's there. I'm pretty much the man of this place. So his thing was he wanted to build this around. He wanted to work with me on it because he thinks that I will stick around and make things happen. And that's when the light bulb went off for me. That this is actually a great opportunity. Not only because it's something where I can make money and a great amount of money, but I can look and watch how things are going with this. But I also tapped into this man's brain and had a conversation with him. This man came into this country, his family came into this country 33 years ago. And now they own 7 gas stations. They own a tire shop. They own a hotel. They're building another hotel next to the one that they currently own. So when I asked him, what was it that you did or what did you go through when it came time for you, that got you to this point? He really wouldn't go into it. I found out later on that him and his brothers had some small route, like they were doing some menial service, and they started to do that service, and then with that service they got a government contract, so that increased, and then this one guy was able to bring in his other brothers, and then they increased that, and then they took that money and they started buying real estate and leasing out the real estate, which got them to the hotels and building homes. From what I understand, they built a mosque. So the thing that was key about this conversation with him was he knew that he was in the top 5% of Americans when it came to their money. That intrigued me. And that's why I know that there's ways that anybody can be wealthy. There's ways, but if you're not privy to the information, if no one is exposing the information, you're definitely not learning this information in school. School is teaching you, and I'm not knocking school. I have educator friends. I have professor friends. I'm not knocking school. What I'm saying is school teaches you to be a great employee. It's the people who are not finished with school and they're taking the chance on themselves, and they hire people from school to help them to run their business that are successful. This man that I'm talking about now, that I work with, because I don't work for nobody, I work with you. If you have a business and I happen to be there and I work for you and you're making money off the fact that I'm there, we're partners. I just happen to accept the fact that I'm not getting a big share. You dig? Mindset. So anyway, I forgot where I was going with that, but the whole point is anybody can do this. It's just not, anybody can build a source of wealth. Anybody can be in a position of power. You are no different than anyone else. It's just, what is your drive? What is your motivation? What is your why? What is your inspiration? That's all it is, stepping it up. So what I'm trying to do as far as give back, because this is a twofold thing. It's me attempting to retire, but it's also me showing you ways that you can make that happen, in hopes that there's engagement and conversation, and maybe a community is built around this, where we can learn that it's not that hard. You just have to use your resources. You have to use your relationships. All right? And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go until the next show. But the next show is going to be about, how am I going to do this? What are my plans on making this happen? Y'all want to know? Then stay tuned. Other than that, thank you for tuning in. Happy Hump Day.
Hump Day.
Later.